بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. As the brother Asghar mentioned, today's lecture is entitled The Tribulation or the Trial of the Magicians, Harut and Marut. Some people, they came to me and they said that shouldn't be the name of the title because it could be understood that Harut and Marut were actually magicians, so it should be more clearer than that. So you should make the tanbih and bring that to the attention of the people. But in actuality, although I don't see Harut and Marut as being from the Sahara, nonetheless, there are some people from the ulama of Islam, as you're going to see inshallah, who were of that opinion. So in regards to this issue, we're dealing in the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat number 102, where he mentioned these two angels. And a lot can be said and can be learned and taken from these ayats. At the top of the list, this ayat in this story is one of these stories or ayats of the Quran that has some ishkal. It's a bit problematic. And it is a test for us. That even if we don't understand something and we can't reconcile it, and there are different statements, still the Muslim does not have the right, he doesn't have the leisure to reject an ayat of the Quran. It is not his haqq to come and to have doubt in the book of Allah because he doesn't understand. He has to look at all of the statements of the ulama of Islam and try to come to the understanding or the point of view that he feels is the best one in accordance to what has been mentioned with the dalil. So concerning Harut and Marut, even before that, as most of you know, I'm sure, before the Quran was revealed, the jinn, they had the ability to get on top of each other and to rise all the way to the heavens. And they were able to steal statements that they had heard from the malaika when the malaika would communicate between themselves. This was before the Quran was revealed. Once the Quran was revealed, they were prevented from doing so because of the Quran. As Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِحِ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. We beautified the lower heavens of this dunya. We beautified it with lamps. And we made those lamps, meaning the stars and the comets, we made them meteors to destroy the shayateen. When the Quran was revealed and they started to find that the meteors were hitting them, their leader Iblis said, something has happened in this dunya. Something has changed. So they began to travel throughout the earth to find out what happened, and they came to Mecca, and they found the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam reading the book of Allah. And they said, this is it right here. This is what has happened. This is an authentic story, an authentic hadith. Now is not the time to get into the details of that. We just wanted to make it clear that before the Quran was revealed, they had the ability to do that. And they did that during the time of Sulaiman. Salawatullahi wassalamuhu alayhi. They went up and they stole some things that they heard being the correspondence of the malaika, and when they came back, the jinn would meet with the soothsayers, with the magicians, people who were involved in that type of black magic in the dark world, and they would tell the soothsayers from the human beings what they heard from the malaika, that so-and-so was going to die, that such and such a thing is going to happen over there, and it would happen, but the soothsayers would receive from the jinn 70 additional statements that they would make up. So when the soothsayers used to tell the people what was going to happen, 70 things would be wrong and it wouldn't happen, and one thing would happen, which was true, that they heard from the malaika, and the people would suspend their intellect and they would take the one truthful thing and disregard the 70 lies. So during the time of Sulaiman, those jinn came down to the soothsayers, and the soothsayers used to write in books what the malaika said. And the people started to say that the jinn and the soothsayers, they knew the ilm al-ghayb. When Sulaiman heard about that, he collected those books and he warned the people, anyone who says that other than Allah knows the ilm al-ghayb, anyone who says that the jinn or the soothsayers or the magicians, they know the ilm al-ghayb, I'm going to deal with them. So he took those books and he buried those books under his throne. While he was living, he dealt with this issue and he called to what all of the prophets and all of the messengers called to, all of them. Salawatullahi wassalamu alayhim ajma'in. وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. That's the dawah of all of the prophets and all of the anbiya. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنَا فَاعْبُدُونِي. In Surah Al-A'raf, when Allah Ta'ala told the details of the dawah of some of the prophets and messengers, starting with Nuh in chronological order. And then after Nuh, he told the people about Hud. And then after the details of the dawah of Hud in Surah Al-A'raf, he told them about Salih and then Shu'aib. In each one of their efforts to give dawah to their people, in the Quran, in Surah Al-A'raf, each one of them said, Ya qawmi i'budullah ma lakum min ilahin ghayruh. O my people, worship Allah alone. You don't have any God worthy of worship except Him. So all of the prophets and all of the messengers, they called to Tawheed. Sulaiman was from amongst them. And then that was culminated and finished with the khatam of the Anbiya and the Rasul, salawatullahi wassalamuhu alayhim ajma'in, and with the Sayyid of Bani Adam, Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Qul inni umirtu an a'budu Allah mukhlisan lahu ad-din. Tell them, Ya Muhammad, I have been commanded to worship Allah alone with ikhlas and to establish His religion alone with ikhlas. When Sulaiman did that, what he was commissioned to do and instructed to do, when he called to a tawheed, Allah Azza wa Jal gave him tamkeen in the earth like nobody else. Allah gave him a thabat and a tathbeet like no other human being, no one, because he called to a tawheed. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Quran, يثبت الله الذين آمنوا بالقول الثابت في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. Allah will establish those people with a strong word or by the strong word. He would establish them in the dunya and He would establish them in the hereafter. Sulaiman received that reward. Salawatullahi wassalamuhu alayhi. No doubt about that. The person who calls to Tawheed in his community, within his relatives, the person who calls to a Tawheed, to the people who are surrounding him, whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims, there is a tremendous reward for that, because a Tawheed and the dawah to a Tawheed is what Allah Ta'ala created us for. So the one who takes responsibility to do it, the reward is at-tathbit and tamkeen, ar-rifa'. Musa said to his people, قال موسى لقومه استعينوا بالله واصبروا إن الأرض لله يورثها من يشاء من عباده والعاقبة للمتقين. He said to his people, hey, my people, seek the assistance of Allah by establishing His worship alone. You want to get out of your problems, you want to be victorious in what you want to do, you want to be a student, pass the exam, get the job, get married, you want to be protected, you want to get the visa, you want to get whatever you're looking for, then seek Allah's assistance alone, nobody else. As the Prophet used to tell Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, oh young man, remember Allah, Allah will remember you, remember Allah, you'll find Him in front of you. وَإِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. That's the dars of the father for his child. When you ask, boy, you ask of Allah first and foremost. When you seek assistance, you seek assistance of Allah. If that boy is learning that message and that girl is learning that message day in and day out, that individual will be a mountain in comparison to the people around him who are just minuscule issues. Musa said to his people, my people, seek Allah's assistance and be patient, For verily the earth, it belongs to Allah. He causes whoever He wants to inherit the earth from His servants. He gives it to whoever He wants. But the end result, the victory will be for the people of taqwa. So all of that goes to show Sulaiman, he called to a tawheed. And as a result of that, Allah Azza wa Jal gave him tamkeen in the earth. Allah gave Sulaiman a number of things. As He mentioned in the Quran subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sulaiman, he said to his people, Ya ayyuhan nas, ulimna mantiq at-tayr wa utina min kulli shay. O you people, Sulaiman said to his people, I have been taught the speech of the birds, and I've been given from everything. And when he said I was given from everything, it meant that Sulaiman was made a king. He was made a powerful human being walking on the face of the earth. Sulaiman was made a Nabi, a Rasul. Sulaiman, he had the cooperation of the Malaika, and from them Jibril and Mikael at his disposal. Sulaiman had dominion over the jinn, not cooperation. He had dominion over the jinn. He made those jinn dive into the depths of the ocean to come out with the treasures and the pearls of the ocean how he wanted, when he wanted. And they were scared of him. And you know, everybody is scared of the jinn. I always use this example. Up here on Coventry Road, that park by Tennyson Road. At this time, if someone said, you walk through that park from Coventry Road, go across the path where we make the Eid, at this time with no lights, most people are going to say, I'm not going to do that because it's dark and you don't know what's in that. You have the people who break into the masjid, the crackheads that come in and steal the masjid. That's where they hang out, plus the jinn and the shayateen. That's their hangout spot. The shayateen were afraid of Sulaiman salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. So as a result of that, he made dua to Allah Ta'ala, and this is the first lesson. No one was given what Sulaiman was given. No one. He made a dua to Allah and he said, وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِ إِنَّكَ الْوَهَّابُ. Oh Allah, give me a kingdom that no one else would have, similar to my kingdom after me, because you are Al-Wahhab. So when Sulaiman received the ni'mah of Allah and the favors of Allah, he repaid that favor by first and foremost making dua to Allah and thanking Him. And he had more than all of us combined. More than all of us combined. But it didn't prevent him from making dua to Allah and thanking Allah Azza wa Jal. Because when Allah Ta'ala gives someone a ni'mah, he shouldn't look at that ni'mah as being insignificant. And as we mentioned so many times, our religion, Ikhwani, is a religion that we have a minhaj in it. How to do things. A minhaj about everything. From your head to your toe, from your two extremities, from the heavens to the earth, during the day, during the night, summertime, when you're old, when you're young, man or woman, Arab, non-Arab. There is a minhaj in this religion. Everything has been explained to us. Every single thing, bar none. So there's a minhaj when it comes to a shukr. In the Quran and the Sunnah, there are certain things that have been mentioned concerning the shukr. And one of them is what Allahu Ta'ala mentioned in many ayat, وَاذْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ. Remember Allah's favor. Just remembering and thinking and contemplating what He gave you and what He did for you and what your situation is. And there are many other things. So the point here, wani, is Sulaiman was given all of that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it didn't prevent him from making dua to Allah Azza wa Jalla. There's another dua that Sulaiman, he made, that is really important because it comes in two ayats of the Quran, and in it is a tremendous lesson. When Sulaiman went to the ants, and that's what he was given, the ability to understand the speech of the ants and the other insects, all of the animals, all of the birds. He can understand the kalam that transpired between them. That's something you can't imagine. When the ant told the other ants, go into your homes unless you are trampled under the foot of Sulaiman and his soldiers and they don't even know about it, he heard that. Allah Ta'ala mentioned, فَتَبَسَّمَ ضَاحِكَ مِنْ قَوْلِهَا وَقَالَ رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ نِعْمَتِكَ الَّتِي أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى وَالِدَيَّ وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ الصَّالِحَ تَرْضَاهُ. Tremendous dua that is. وَادْخِلْنِي بِرَحْمَتِكَ فِي عِبَادِكَ الصَّالِحِينَ. He said, oh my Lord. He smiled at what she said, and he said, oh my Lord, give me the ability to thank you for this ni'mah that you bestowed upon me and that you bestowed upon my parents as well. And cause me to do the deeds that are righteous and virtuous, that you are pleased with those deeds. And cause me to receive your rahmah and to put me of those people from your servants who are sincere. That dua, أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك, this dua is mentioned in Surah Al-Ahqaf. And it's mentioned about something that Allah has given many of us who are sitting here. فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدُّهُ قَالَ رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي. That same dua. فَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدُّهُ وَبَلَغَ 40 سَنَةً قَالَ رَبِّ أَوْزِعْنِي. When the human being, after his mother carried him in her stomach, and then she let him out with difficulty. When he became strong and he reached the age of 40, he made the dua, or he should make the dua. Oh my Lord, cause me to be able to give shukr to you in the same exact dua of Sulaiman. So the point is, Allah Azza wa Jal gave Sulaiman what He didn't give anyone. Even our Prophet and our Nabi, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was not a king, who was praying, as has been authentically reported, he was making the salah, and while praying, his companions were behind him in the jama'at, and they saw him doing his hand like this. They said to him after the salah, why did you do that, Ya Rasulullah? He said, I was trying to make my salah, I had my sutra, because the Muslim never prays without a sutra, something in front of him. He never prays except that he's going to pray towards the wall, towards the pole, towards the chair, towards someone's back, and so forth and so on, even if he's by himself at home in the masjid. The sutra is from the sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he prohibited you, Abdullah. When you pray, he said, pray with a sutra. He ordered it. He said, don't pray except that you have a sutra. And he prohibited you from praying without a sutra. It's wajib in Islam. It's a part of your prayer. I don't say if you don't have a sutra, your salat is batila. It doesn't count. I don't say that. But your salat is not complete. He told the people, pray the way you see me praying, and you'll never see a narration where he prayed without a sutra. So he was praying with his sutra, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They saw that. Ya Rasulullah, why did you do that? He said, because I was praying and a shaitan came and he tried to disrupt me in my prayer. So I grabbed him by his neck and I choked his neck his tongue came out on my hand. I felt the coldness of his tongue on my hand. Someone says to you, Abdullah Akhi, over here, this sorry football team of Birmingham, the Blues. If someone put you in the middle of that stadium and they said to you, in front of the full stadium, do you believe that Muhammad grabbed the jinn by the neck and the tongue came out and the coldness was on his hand in front of all of those people in the microphone? What are you going to say? We're going to say, Allahumma naam, we believe it. We believe that. We believe that even more than what you people are celebrating when you said that the man parked a rocket on a comet the other day. We believe that more. So the point here is, they said, why did you do that? He said, because that jinn. He said, it had it not been for the dua of my brother Sulaiman, the supplication, the dua of Sulaiman, I'd have tied him up to the pillar of the masjid so that you could have seen him. Maybe he would do something, make dua something, they would have the ability to see the jinn. So that goes to show that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wasn't a king. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wasn't in competition with Sulaiman. And that's the way that the Prophet showed us from his sunnah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to practice and to apply the Quran. He knew that ayat. Sulaiman is the one who has a kingdom that no one else will have a kingdom like that. So he didn't want to compete with Sulaiman in that particular issue that was mentioned throughout the Quran. The power and the ability over the jinn. Sulaiman lived, and this was his condition. In his death is a really important message, but we have to get to Harut and Marut, inshallah. But in his death, the jinn, the shayateen, they used to go down in the ocean, and it was tough, and it was arduous. And they used to come up and give Sulaiman the riches of the ocean, and he was watching them, overseeing them, and they were afraid of him. And he had died standing up. And the ants ate away at his staff. And as the staff became eaten away and it started to wear away and wither away, he fell over because his weight on the staff obviously was going to cause his balance to be lost. And that's when the jinn realized Sulaiman was dead all of this time. He was dead because everybody is going to die. Even the one who was given a kingdom like nobody else, bigger and better than Fir'aun. Everybody is going to die. Every king, every Nabi, every Rasul. It's not permissible for the Muslim who knows that the prophets and the messengers called to a Tawheed. And at the top of that list, our Prophet, our Rasul, and Mujtaba, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Then he comes and says, the Prophet didn't die. It's not okay. If the jinn knew the unseen, they would have been able to realize what was going on. If anyone knows the unseen, they would be able to tell us things that would clearly indicate and prove that they know the unseen. They steal it here and there. They steal it here and there. They come with some truth, but with that truth is 70 lies. So we should pay attention to that. When Sulaiman died, the shayateen came. And Sulaiman, ikhwani, he's from the prophets of Bani Israel, from the Israelites, the Hebrews, Bani Israel. To this very day, they are people in their religion and outside of their religion. There are people today who are prolific in magic. It plays an integral part of their religion. I'm not saying that every Yehudi is a magician, but it is part of their history. Right now, they are the prolific magicians, and they're the ones who are on this thing. And that's the Islamic narrative. We have this movement in this country now where we say things that the Quran is saying, and people want to call that hate preaching, and people want to say that we're this and we're that. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? That's just part of the challenges of being here. You got to let the chips fall where they may. I say we have to be wise and all of that, but we shouldn't be people who try to change Allah's religion out of fear of his creatures, his creation. Sulaiman died. The shayateen came. They dug the books up from under his kursi, under his arsh. When they found those books that Sulaiman buried, warning the people, don't read these books. Warning the people, don't believe in this stuff. When they found it, They said, the shayateen from the end said, Sulaiman's kingdom is because of what's in these books. Sulaiman's kingdom, his power over the jinn, the animals, because they saw what was going on. Sulaiman was their leader. They saw what was going on. They said he was given all of this because of magic, these books. So they begin to read those books. And that's how it crept into their aqidah, into their beliefs, into what they were about. And that's what the ayat is all about. وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. They followed what the shayateen read to them during the time of the dominion, the kingdom of Sulaiman. Sulaiman didn't disbelieve, but the shayateen, they disbelieved because they taught the people magic. So this ayat of the Quran, it exonerated Sulaiman, and we're going to come to that inshallah. It exonerated Sulaiman, and it establishes in our religion, you young people, magic is kufr. Teaching magic is disbelief. Learning magic is disbelief. Playing magic is disbelief. Putting magic on people is disbelief. Taking magic off of people with magic is disbelief. وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ. They disbelieved because they taught the people magic. The Prophet told us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, مَنْ أَتَى كَاهِنًا فسأله عن شيء ثم صدقه فقد كفر بما أنزل على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Anyone who goes to a soothsayer, magician, anyone who goes to the clairvoyant, and he asks him any question about the unseen, about you lost something, you go to him to read your palm, anyone goes to him and he asks a question, and then he believes what he says, he has disbelieved in what was revealed upon Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So let there be no doubt. Let there be no doubt. If I sat here and I somehow turned this ring that was a gift into another color, I put my hand down like that and put my hand up, and it appeared on the other hand, that is sleight of hand. And it is a type of magic. It is a type of magic. You don't go out of Islam as a result of that. But nonetheless, that's kufrun billahi. It shouldn't be taught from the minbar, from the masjid, in your home, in the street. It's something that should be avoided. There were some companions who had a magician who was doing sleight of hand. He was making the thing stab him. Maybe it was going in, maybe it wasn't going in. Allahu alam. They killed that man as a result of that. So the point is, all magic is from the major sins. There's nothing known in Islam as simple magic, white magic, innocent magic. Don't do any tricks like that at all. Concerning Allahu Ta'ala, his statement that Sulaiman wasn't the one who disbelieved, this was said because Ikhwani, the Yahud, in the Islamic narrative that we don't apologize about, they used to give problems to many of the prophets and the messengers. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do this, but as a former Christian, that Bible is not the type of book like as a Muslim in the month of Ramadan, especially we connect to the Quran and everyone tries to read it. On Friday, the person gets that Quran, he tries to read it. He respects the Quran. Christians don't have that in their religion. They don't pick the Bible up and kiss it. It's not a book that they read like that or they look at it like that. Some of them take it into the toilet and they read it, akramakumullah, just like they would read newspapers and magazines. In that Bible, there are stories about the prophets that are terrible. And one of the prophets who they butchered in the Bible is the story of Sulaiman. He was butchered in the Bible. There's a bab or a book in there called the Book of Kings. The Book of Kings. It said that Sulaiman, when he became older, he followed his wives and what his wives told him, and they changed his heart from worshiping Allah. So what did he do? Not only did he start to worship other than Allah in that Bible, hasha lillah wa iyadhan billah, but he built an idol for one group of people. He built another idol for another group of people. And he built a third idol for another group of people. And he just didn't build the idols. He built them on high places, on the mountains. And he was the first to worship these idols with people who were his enemy, the enemy of his people. In Islam, we don't make these types of statements about any of the prophets and any of the messengers. Sulaiman and his father Dawood, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhima, didn't escape this. In our religion, it's not like that. And that's why, you know how we say Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Prophet Muhammad told us, إِذَا ذُكِرَ الْأَنْبِيَاءُ فَصَلُّوا عَلَيْهِمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ بُعِثُوا بِمَا بُعِثْتُ بِهِ. If you hear any prophet or any messenger's name being mentioned, then say sallallahu alayhi wasallam on him, because they all were sent with the same message that I was sent with. لا نفرق بين أحد من رسولي. We don't make any distinctions between his prophets and his messengers. All of them are major, all of them are important, all of them are the best human beings. Allah mentioned about Bani Israel, and it helps us to understand how and why they could say that Sulaiman was a magician, Sulaiman was dealing with magic, and it's the famous incident that happened with them. من كان عدوا لله وملائكته ورسله وجبريل وميكال فإن الله عدو للكافرين. Anyone who is an enemy to Allah, an enemy to the angels, an enemy to the messengers of Allah, an enemy to Jibril and Mikael, verily Allah is an enemy to the kafirin. If you're an enemy to Allah, you're kafir. If you're an enemy to the malaika, you're kafir. If you're an enemy to the prophets and messengers, you're kafir. If you're an enemy to the two major malaika, you're kafir. And Allah is an enemy to the kafirin. Why was that ayat revealed? It establishes that Bani Israel, who it is insane for the Muslims to hope any khair from the Zionists, from them especially the racist Zionists. Any contract, any aqd, any ahd, the Muslim doesn't believe in them because they say things about Allah and their religion and their books that they changed. So if they're going to say that about Allah, what do you think they're going to say about Sulaiman and other than Sulaiman? They said that about Allah. What do you think they're going to think about Arabs? What do you think they're going to think about Muslims and other than that? So the point is, that ayah goes to show they didn't have any hesitation of talking bad about Allah, talking bad about the malaika, or any of the messengers. But Allah exonerated them. And this is really important. Allah exonerated those prophets and the messengers, Sulaiman and other than him. There are many people in the Quran and the Sunnah who Allah and his Prophet ﷺ, they exonerated and made it clear. Like Isa ibn Maryam. وَقَوْلِهِمْ إِنَّا قَتَلْنَا الْمَسِيحِ عِيسَى ibn Maryam رَسُولَ اللَّهِ وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ مَا صَلَبُوهُ وَلَكِنْ شُبِّهَ لَهُمْ إِلَيْهِ قَالَ وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ يَقِينًا. They were bragging. We killed Isa ibn Maryam. We killed the Messiah. They were bragging. We killed him. Allah exonerated him and said they didn't kill the Messiah. Their statement that they killed the Messiah, Isa ibn Maryam, they didn't kill him. He wasn't crucified, but it was made to appear like that. Clearly, verily, they didn't kill him. They said Isa ibn Maryam is a child of zina. You know the B word. A child that was born out of wedlock. They used to say that in their temples. They used to say that in the holy places. Isa ibn Maryam, when they discussed him during his time, they used to say he was the B word. Someone who doesn't have a father. His father came from zina. Allah Ta'ala exonerated him. The example of Isa is like the example of Adam. It's a miracle. Allah said to him, be, and it was. They used to say bad things about many people. The Quran exonerated those people. Musa. In Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah mentioned to us, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, la takunu kalladhina adhaw Musa, فَبَرَّأَهُ اللَّهُ مِمَّا قَالُوا وَكَانَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ وَجِيهًا. Oh, you believe, do not be like those people who annoyed Musa. But Allah exonerated him, freed him from what they said. And verily he was a very good individual with Allah. You know, they used to say a lot about Musa. They used to say Musa had leprosy because they used to take a shower, they used to take a bath without any clothes. I used to be a non-Muslim growing up when I was young. We used to go to the boys' club. We learned how to play pool. We learned how to play ping pong. We learned how to swim. We used to learn how to do many issues, stay off the street, and we used to learn all of these activities. So part of the activity, even in school, high school, as a teenager, we had physical education. And you have to put on shorts, and you go and you play sports. Then after the period, you put your clothes back on. So I can say, yes, when I was young, was part of the culture that we would take a shower in front of everybody. We would be together taking showers. But I'm looking at a masjid full of Muslims from Tunis first, from Tunis, Qasim, from Tunis, Somalia, Pakistan, Eritrea, Ethiopia. I'm just going to deal with the African countries. From Egypt. I'm dealing with Muslims who are in front of me. If I said, I'm not asking you, put your hand up if you ever taken a shower in front of someone who shouldn't have seen your aura. It's only going to be a minority of people because that's not from our way. That's not from the way of Muslims. Maybe the Muslim who was astray, he did that when he was astray. But the Muslim, the nominal, halfway practicing Muslim, he's not going to do that. Bani Israel, they used to do that. They used to take showers in front of each other. Musa refused to do it because it's against the fitrah. It's against the fitrah. So what did they say? They said amongst themselves, this is the man who helped them to escape from Pharaoh. They saw the miracles. The man came to life in front of their eyes. They went across the sea. They went across the sea. This is one tribe, bigger than this. This tribe will go through their lane in the middle of the sea. The other tribe in the middle of their lane, the other 12 tribes going in and they're looking, and the water is being held back. And when they get to the other side, Pharaoh is coming to get them, and their enemy who used to come to their daughters and take their daughters to do what they wanted to do with them. After all of that, they would say, hey, you know why Musa doesn't want to take a shower with us? It's because he has leprosy. He has blemishes in his body. He is just afraid. He's scared for us to see his nakedness. Who would say that? So Allah Ta'ala wanted to prove this one point, and there were many. So Musa was taking a ghusl by himself, and where he put his clothes on the rock ran off with his clothes, and Musa came out of the lake, and he ran after the rock without any clothes. When he caught up to the rock, he took his staff and he hit the rock, and it made a dent in the rock. Prophet Muhammad said to his companions, because it's an amazing story, he said, Wallahi, I know where the rock is, where Musa hit it. There's a dent in that rock showing how strong he was. Again, if they put you in the middle of this stadium, this football pitch where this sorry Blues team is playing, this sorry team over here, and the people were there and they said, do you believe the rock ran off with his clothes? Do you believe that in 2014? We want our little brothers especially to say, Allahumma naam. I believe that more than you claiming that man landed a rocket on a comet. And you're celebrating that. We believe that more. We believe it more. Because it's from Allah Azza wa Jalla. As for you people, you may be telling the truth. You may be lying. You have to prove to me. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. From those people that were exonerated was our mother, Aisha, in the Qissat al-Ifk. So what's the point of all of this, ikhwani? The Qissat al-Ifk is when they said that she committed zina and she's the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what's the point here? What's the lesson here? The lesson is, for those of you who are oppressed, for those of you who are being dealt with unfairly by your family members, by the people you work with, by your neighbors, by people just giving you problems, Allah mentioned in the Quran, and this is a promise of Allah, inna Allaha yudafi'u 'anil ladhina amanu. Allah is going to protect those people who believe. You're going to be exonerated. You're going to be protected. You just can't push back the evil with evil. You have to push the evil back with what is best. Itfa billati hiya ahsan. After that, the ayah said, وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلْ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. Sulaiman didn't disbelieve, but the shayateen, they disbelieved. They taught the people magic, and they taught the people what was revealed on the two angels of Babylon, Harut and Marut. Now we come to the issue that seems to be a bit problematic. This is from the ayat of the Quran that there are some ishkal. And for your information, the ulama of Islam, past and present, they have not left any rock unturned. There's nothing in our religion that the scholars of Islam did not write a book about. Nothing. Whatever you want to know about, the ulama of Islam wrote books about that issue. This statement, they follow what the shayateen were reading, the magic, during the time of Sulaiman, and they follow what was revealed on the two malaika. The scholars have different interpretations of this. Different interpretations. So you have to pay attention, you have to listen up. The first interpretation that they gave is dealing with this ma. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ. This ma. And for the majority of us, as I look in this audience, we are not Arabs. We're not Arabs. We're not Arabs. The majority of the Muslims are Ajam, non-Arabs. It is important for everybody out there to feel some sense of responsibility to learn Arabic language. Not just our young brothers like Zakaria, Ibn Zayd, Ahmed, Ghulaid, Mustafa. Not just the students who want to go to Medina and study overseas. They're the ones who have the hirs and the desire to learn Arabic. Everybody here, even the Arabs whose language has been corrupted. Some of the brothers, they talk to me, you know I speak Arabic, but when Arabs hear me speak Arabic, they know I'm not an Arab. They know that. It's just like when they speak English, we know this man is not an Arab. Some of the Arab brothers will speak to you from Morocco, Algeria, Tunis. You don't know what he's talking about because of the lahja. That's not to put him down. You don't know what he's going on about. You catch some words here and there, so you try to figure it out. But maybe depending on if you live with them a lot, you can understand 40%, 50%, 60%. So you know, to Mashihi, now, you don't like that? Oh yeah. But you don't know what that man is saying. So the Arabs themselves need to go back and learn their language. In this ma unzila, there are different types of ma in al-Islam, in the Arabic language. One ma is called the ma al-mawsula, the ma al-mawsula that connects something. And the majority of the mufassirin say this is what this ma is. Wa ma unzila ala al-malakain, and what was revealed to the two angels. Alladhi, walladhi unzila ala al-malakain. And the majority of them say this is what it means. But some of them say no, it's a different ma. It's the ma nafi. Ma unzila ala al-malakain. And magic was not revealed on the two angels. Because in the whole verse, when it starts talking about magic, there's some what they call a taqdeem and ta'khir. In the Arabic language, there's no sense in trying to go into this right now. Because I had experience when the Shaykh came and he was talking about Surah Al-Fatiha, and he went deep into the nuances of the grammar of the nahu. He had people yawning in the audience. And it was difficult to try to explain that. So this is not the place to try to get into the deepness of, in the ayat, there certain things are missing and they're understood because they're implied. They said some things, although it's mentioned late, but the meaning goes here, and so forth and so on. The point here is, some of the scholars said the ayat is saying, and nothing, no magic was revealed on the two angels. That's one interpretation. That no magic. Allah negated in this ayat that any magic was revealed on Harut and Marut. Another interpretation of the ayat is the word وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. This word malakain comes from the word angel, the two angels. Malik, the lam has a fatha. Malik, that's an angel. Malaika, Malik, the lam has a fatha. Malik, the very same word. Malik, the lam has a kasra. That means a king, a king. So some of the scholars said the meaning of this ayat, وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلِكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. And what was revealed on the two kings who were at Babylon, Harut and Marut. Some of them said Harut and Marut were two kings. Some of them said the two kings, Sulaiman and Dawood. The third interpretation that they came with, and it just goes to show the reason why the scholars were doing that is what you're going to understand right now. Is that some of them said that Harut and Marut, the next statement, that they were from the shayateen. Harut was a shaitan and Marut was a shaitan. Wa iyadha billah, that those two angels were from the shayateen. And you know, Ikhwani, one of the biggest scholars in Islam took that position. And Imam al-Qurtubi, he was from Spain. He was one of the premier ulama of the Maliki madhab. He was a faqih and usuli, and he gave the tafsir of the Quran. He has a book called Ahkam al-Quran. He only deals with the ahkam of the Quran, that's all. When he came to this particular ayat, he said Harut and Marut are two shayateen. Shaitanan min shayateen. And the reason why he said that is, number one, it's not from the fitra, from the angel, from the shayateen. It's not from their way. They haven't been created to give advice. But they gave advice in this ayat. يعلماني وما يعلماني من أحد حتى يقولا إنما نحن فتنة فلا تكفر. They would not teach anyone magic until they said to the people, this is a trial for you, this is a fitna, so don't disbelieve. So they're advising the people, we're going to teach you magic, but this is magic we're teaching is a trial for you, so don't disbelieve by learning it. So if they were really shayateen, if they were shayateen, they wouldn't have been giving advice in the first place. It's tough. And plus what the ayat of the Quran said. And the ayat of the Quran is pretty clear. That tells us about the nature of the malaika. And as we mentioned many times, when we say we believe in Allah and the malaika and His books and His Rasul and Yawm al-Akhir and the Qadr, all of those have details in them. Part of the details of believing in the malaika is believing what they can do and what they can't do. And one of the things that they can do is they can't teach kufr. They can't disobey Allah. The prophets and the messengers, when they come, they don't teach people magic. The scholar, a Rabbani, he's not going to tell the person, go and learn magic, so that no one's going to do that. So how is it possible that an angel can do that? How is that possible? يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. They do what they're told to do. The angel who has the horn that's going to be blown Yawm al-Qiyamah, he's looking at the Arsh of Allah and he doesn't blink from the day that he was created until he's told, blow that horn. The Prophet said the reason why he won't blink is he's afraid that if he blinks, he may blink at the time that Allah tells him, blow the horn. So the scholar said he has the ability to blink. He has the ability to blink. But he doesn't blink because he's afraid of sleeping but 1 second, closing his eyes that 1 second, not sleeping, closing his eyes that 1 second, and he's commanded. So how are they going to come and tell people to learn magic? Those are from the interpretations. Some of the ulama said about Harut and Marut, Ikhwani, that Harut and Marut were from the malaika, because that's what Allah mentioned. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ. What was revealed on the two angels at Babylon, Harut and Marut. They're from the malaika. And the shayateen can give advice to Bani Adam. Shaitan himself told Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu that the greatest ayat of the Quran is Ayatul Kursi. That's one of the greatest nasihas ever known. Telling him that the greatest ayat of the Quran was Ayatul Kursi is from the greatest nasiha on the face of the earth. So they were angels. So the last group of scholars they mentioned, they were angels, and what they taught the people was magic. But it was a type of magic that they taught the people. And the type of magic that they taught them is what was mentioned in the ayat. فَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِهِ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ. The people learned from Harut and Marut the type of magic that will split a man from his wife. And the reason why they taught them this magic, the reason why they taught them was not to teach them to be practitioners of magic, but so that they would know this will break up your marriage, that will break up your marriage, this potion and this and that and that. It's like the person coming and he's teaching the people the evil of playing the lottery, gambling, the evil of lying, the evil of this. He's not teaching him that so that he would do it. He's teaching him that so that he would be aware of it. The Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at-tiwala shirkun. At-tiwala is the love potion that people use. There is a potion that a person can give to someone in the form of a drink, in his food. There's a potion that someone can get to someone else. He takes it, eats it, she takes it, she eats it. As a result of that, that individual will start to love a person who normally they didn't like them at all. Or that individual will hate the person who they used to love. The mother does this to her daughter-in-law. She's jealous of her son's wife. So she puts a potion on the daughter-in-law and her son's wife so that whenever the son sees his wife, and they've only been married for a month, 2 months, maybe a year or so, the son sees snakes coming out of her head. The son sleeps, and in his sleep, he's always seeing crazy things with his wife. He wakes up, he sees she's a black snake crawling around, gonna get him in the dream. He doesn't want to sleep next to his wife. Or she has that with him. And somebody laugh. I'm telling you, I'm looking in faces of people who are saying, Allahu Akbar. Because this is their situation. Did somebody put magic on my wife? Did somebody put magic on my husband? Prophet Muhammad says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at-tiwala shirkun. This thing is shirk. And the way you get it off is through ruqya. The way you get it off is through reading the Quran. The way you get it off is reading Surah Al-Baqarah, taking Habbat al-Sawda, taking al-Asr, that's real. That's how you get this off. You don't get it off by going to someone to do a magic potion to take that off. Can't push wrong away with wrong. The Nabi mentioned in this the last thing, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ikhwani, that every night Iblis, he sits on his throne, he sends his shayateen out, and they go throughout the earth and they make fitna and fasad, like what's going on in Syria and Iraq and what people are doing all over the place. I don't know if you people saw this, but I saw a picture that was sent to me in the WhatsApp. In Syria, it appeared, the little boy's sister was hiding behind a car and the sniper was shooting at the little boy. And the little boy started running to go help his sister, to save his sister, who was behind the car. And it looked like the bullet hit him because some white smoke came up. Like it looked like something hit him and he fell down and played dead. And then he jumped up and he ran behind a car real quick and he grabbed his sister to run back the other way. And you could see her not running. She was afraid. He was pulling her. And the people started shooting. But the bullet can't hit. The bullet can't hit. Well, Allah doesn't want it to hit. And the boy and the girl, they were safe. Did you people see that? Anybody saw that? That's from the shayateen. People behind those triggers are shayateen ins. How in your right mind can you justify shooting a kid? You know in Islam, you can't take target practice on anything that's living. Like a bird, you're just going to shoot him, he falls and he dies and you keep it moving. Prophet Muhammad said, don't do that. If you shoot him, you have to get him and you have to eat him. You have to use him, sell him. Can't just shoot something. People who do that, shayateen. So concerning this, he sends his people out, his shayateen. They come back at the end of the day when everything is done and said and done. And they're really spreading at Maghrib time. Our religion taught us everything. He told the mothers of our community, and this is not a joke, if they put you in the middle of that football pitch with the Blues, that sorry team, who in his right mind is going to root for that team? And I told the brothers this the other day, you British people freak me out a little bit, supporting your teams like that. Because you live in Birmingham, you have to support this team. Because you live in Liverpool, you have to support that team. Because you live in that part of London, you have to support Arsenal. Although I can see supporting Arsenal and Liverpool and Manchester United, I can see that. And I don't like soccer, but I can see that. Because those are powerhouses year in, year out. But Birmingham City? But it gets even worse than that. When the World Cup comes every 4 years, English people get behind the English team. Every year they root for England, only to be disappointed at some point. And you know you're going to be disappointed. So what makes you not go for the team from your country? We say we don't go for the teams of our country because football is a waste of time, a waste of money. It's a waste of time, waste of money. The other things Muslims can be preoccupying themselves with. They put you in that football pitch, Aston football pitch, 60, 70, 80,000 people say, and you're in the middle of the pitch with a microphone. Hey, you believe Shaitan is on an arsh in the middle of the ocean somewhere? And at Maghrib time, he sends out the shayateen and they make fitna and fasad. And the Prophet told us, at that time, close your doors and bring your children in close to you. And then after that time goes, you can open up your doors and your windows. You believe that? We want our little brothers, everybody here to say without hesitating, Allahumma naam. I believe that more than you telling me that rocket landed on that comet while the comet was moving. While the comet was moving? It's possible. But I know that those comets, they go to destroy the shayateen. And I know that they travel pretty fast. So you have to prove that to me. I want the video. I want to see before I drink that Kool-Aid. I want to see. I'm not going to believe you just because you said it. And it may be true. But that doesn't hurt my religion for me to reject that, to deny that. Someone may say, you're mutakhallif, you're backwards. You better catch up. You better catch up, 2014. I say, okay, that doesn't bother me. But what is disturbing is for a person to find a hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim and he has doubt about it. That's a problem. Now that's a problem. Those shayateen come back at the end of the day. Iblis says to him, what did you do? He said, I caused a man to shoot at a little boy and his sister. What did you do? I caused a guy to get a non-Muslim man who went to Syria to help Muslims eat in Syria, and I made him chop his head off. What did you do? He said, I did this and I did that. He said, you didn't do anything. What did you do? He said, I made a man divorce his wife. Right now, he's in the masjid. Right now, his wife is mad at him and he's mad at his wife. What are they mad at her? What are they upset over? They're not upset over anything really important except that Iblis came between them and made a little problem. That was the magic that Harut and Marut taught the people and nothing else. So, as you can see, with each one of these statements, you can understand why it's being said. There's some plausible explanations with each one of them, and no one can emphatically say, hey, this is it for sure. But our aqeedah and our religion tells us, as Allah Ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, هُوَ الَّذِي أَنزَلَ عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابِ مِنْهُ آيَاتٌ مُحْكَمَاتٌ هُنَّ الْكِتَابِ وَأُخْرَى مُتَشَابِهَاتٌ. Allah revealed this Quran. It has some ayat that are very clear, basic, and fundamental. They're the mother of the book. Hold on to those ayats. Learn those ayats. And then there are other ayat we don't know exactly. They're ambiguous. It can mean this, can mean that. No one can say for sure it means that. Because no one can say for sure that it means that doesn't mean that you throw it away. It just means that you say, I believe in it. I may not necessarily know which statement is the strongest one or which is the correct one, but I believe in that ayah. and don't be of the people who follow after these issues, making themselves confused. May Allah Azza wa Jal put us on the way of His prophets and His messengers, like Sulaiman, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, the brother of our Nabi and our Rasul, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And I would encourage you, brothers, to go back and read the details, especially in Qasas al-Anbiya, the story of the prophets by Imam Ibn Kathir. Dawood, his father, is a tremendous personality. I remember maybe 2-3 khutbahs ago, I was going to give a khutbah about Dawood because his story is an amazing story. And then to have a son like Sulaiman, those two people, it's not fairy tale, these two people, in their story, in their dawah, in their manliness, is a story for the ulul albab. This is what we want to present. Completeness is with Allah and from Allah. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أكرمك الله يا وفيكم بارك الله. Assalamu alaikum. You okay, man? Assalamu alaikum. How you been, man? You all right? What's that? Walaikum salam. Salam.
Abu Sam, assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah khair.
Akramakallah ya Shaykh.
Jazakallah khair. A small presentation. We have program in Saudi Arabia. We send books in 22 languages, 293 countries. So this is my card. Ya akhi, Allah is here. And this is books written by American scholar. His name Abdul Lawrence Brown.
I know him, the eye doctor.
Exactly, mashallah. And this is my card. And this is our website, Islam Unveiled. We are